Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Mattie Zarena Whitfield, and you are watching Captivating Conversations, authentic conversations to loving relationships. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're actually going to be reading a question from a young lady, and let's see what she has to say. Dear Mattie, I don't want to go into full detail, but to kind of explain my situation, my older sister told me some things about our mom's past that I didn't know and that were very hurtful and had an adverse personal effect on me. And honestly, weren't necessary for me to know. I'm really upset with her, almost to the point where I hate her and definitely resent her. How do I deal with it? Well, that definitely is a very unfortunate situation. And it's really sad, but this whole show, I'm going to surround it by answering your question with hurt people hurt people. You know, we hear that saying all the time, hurt people hurt people. But what does that really mean? And how can we get past the point where we are a person that is hurt and we may hurt someone else? First, I want to talk to you about the fact that you said hate. Hate is such a strong word. It's actually an opposite of love. To hate someone emits so much energy that you utilize to be able to physically think about hating this person. And usually that can come off to something where you're sitting and thinking about different ways to do things to this person to hurt, harm them. And now you're the person that's hurting another person. So first, let's address the hate. You have to change your mindset around that. You don't have time to hate a person. Life is too short. Life is too precious. You really love her because you can only hate someone that you love. Other than that, you wouldn't care enough to even begin to put that type of energy towards that person. So you love her. You just quite don't understand why she would do something to hurt you in this manner. So before you go and do something that you'll have to regret later, apologize about, or not be able to apologize about, let's change the language around hating her. Now, hurt people hurt people. One of the reasons that I believe that hurt people is because they haven't taken the time to forgive the situation of what happened to them. Forgiveness is a big part of how you deal with your sister in this situation. Why do you have to forgive her? You don't want to forgive her. She hurt you. That may be true. However, if you truly want to get past this situation, that's one of the most important things that you have to do. How do you do that? Well, forgiveness is actually changing your mind about the situation and having compassion for her. So let's go into why she could have possibly done this. What was her motive? What was her outcome that she was looking to get from telling you some information about your mother? Well, only you really know your sister, so you can answer that. But I can give you some suggestions in regards to why she probably said this to you. So it could have been that she was hurt too, and she just wanted somebody else to be able to share in that conversation with. And by you not knowing this about your mother, you couldn't engage in the conversation with her to be able to try to help her heal. Was that right? No, but that could have been a reason. Two, she could have done it with no regard. She just really didn't think about how you would feel. She didn't care. Or it just didn't even cross her mind to say, hey, well, this hurt my sister too, like it hurt me. Another possibility is she could have been doing it to hurt your mom. She could have, who knows, I don't know your relationship with your mom, but if you are a favorite child or you and your mother have a really good relationship and she could possibly be jealous of that, then this is a way for you to look at your mom differently. Whatever the reason is, it came from a place of hurt. So you, being the bigger person that wants to learn how to heal from this and deal with this, you have to now have the compassion for her to be able to step in her shoes and find out why she did it. And that alone will allow you more grace to be able to deal with her in this situation. Now, let's just talk about if you possibly now have some unforgiveness or resentment towards your mother, because I don't quite know exactly what she did to you to have a personal effect on you. But let's keep in mind that that's your mother's past. And we all make mistakes in our past because we're what? We're human. And as a human being, we are imperfect people in imperfect situations. But that doesn't take away from who we are as a person. That doesn't take away from who she is as your mother. So have the compassion and the forgiveness to say, hey, that was my mother's past. And if she's loved you every single step after that, or even if she didn't love you every single step after that, she's your mother. So in essence, her real responsibility was to get you to this world. Everything else that happened after that, sorry to say, but was kind of a luxury. A lot of us tend to take our problems out on our parents because this didn't go that way or whatever way that we tend to think that it was supposed to go. But the things that you go through are not meant to break you. They're meant to grow you. You have a lot of successful people that had very hard childhoods, but they wouldn't have been who they are today without having those hiccups and those bumps through their childhood. And they chose to grow from them. So this situation right here, before you knew it, it didn't have an adverse effect on you and your mom. So it shouldn't have an adverse effect on you now. You have to look at the person that told you what this was and kind of deal with them in that regard. If it's nothing that you even have to tell your mother that you know because you know it'll hurt your mother, don't turn into the person that's hurt, that's now hurting someone else by going back and telling your mother. Just deal with your sister in a loving manner because you don't want to, again, be the person that's hurting someone else. Now, let's also deal with you. Maybe you need to take a moment and just relax to yourself. Don't go to different family members and tell on your sister and all of that good stuff because you're trying to find a way to cope with this. This may be something you need to do personally because what you don't want to do is have more people talking about your sister or telling her she should have never done this. Mind you, she probably shouldn't have. But bringing more people in it, does that really help the outcome? What would be your motive? What are you trying to accomplish by including more people in this messy situation? I like to tell people, vent up. Don't vent to people who are on your level or people who are under your level that won't give you good advice. Vent up to a person that really doesn't want to hear what you have to say because they're such on a positive level that when you talk to them, you need to come to them with a solution or come to them for advice that helps you. Advice that helps you grow to another level. So if you don't have anybody to vent up to, let's talk about this personally and deal with it. You know, one of the things that I think always works really well for me in forgiveness, especially when I have to forgive somebody to be able to move past a situation, write a letter. Tell your sister how you feel in a letter form, because that way you can get every single thing that you want to say to her out of the way. And even if it's angry, even if it comes from a place of anger in the beginning, let your letter end in love because she is your sister. And even if this puts a rift between you all where you don't talk for a little while, she still needs to know that you love her, not just for her, but for you. Because if you hold malice in your heart, now you're blocking love from being able to get in or being able to get out. And I'm sure that you have a lot of people in your life that you have to love on, that you want to love on you. And if you hold this hurt, then now you're continuing the cycle that your sister did to you. So I hope that that was a good enough answer for you to be able to forgive her and have some compassion for the things that she did. I'm sorry that that situation had to happen to you, but always remember that it's not what happens to us that builds us. It's how we respond to what happens to us. So don't be the person that turns into another hurt person hurting other people. And then I also have to ask you, what would make her tell you something like this? You know, sometimes we can tend to sit around and be the person that does the gossiping or be the person that actually gives out the hurting conversations about other people. But not until it comes back to us do we actually feel how that feels. So are you the person that sits around and engages in conversations that are not beautiful? I was going to say are not harmful, but they are harmful. They're harmful to another person. So could this have been a lesson for you to just see how it feels on the other side? And if it is, that's okay. Now you need to forgive yourself and do better. Much love. Captivating Conversations. If you have a question, please send it to us at ask@mzwhitfield.com. I would love to hear what you think. And also, please feel free. Comment below if you have some more advice for her, because we do have to stop the cycle of hurting people, hurting more people. We have to have more forgiveness and do things from a place of love. I'll see you soon. Talk to you later.